smoking out of my pipe today. I don't really even know what this is. Again, dispensary weed, hood dispensary weed. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and get my card, cause yeah. And then I gotta drive too far to go get the weed, so then it's like, now I just be smoking the smoke and not saving weed to do my videos. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and get my medical card so I can know what the fuck I'm smoking, know the THC level, the strain, and all the good information I'm supposed to be sharing with y'all. Okay, this is getting on my nerves. I need to learn how to clean my pipe out too, because it's so dirty on the inside. So yes, today's story time is about when I lost my virginity at the tender age of 13. And some of the weed particles just get in your throat. You have to just swallow it. Oh, that's disgusting. That's because it needs to be cleaned up. I done smoked up. Well, no, I still got some weeds left. So, yeah. Okay, now I even feel good. This some good ass weed. My sister bought me this weed. She said she got a new plug. Hamtramck or some shit. I need a plug on the east side. I'm tired of going to the west side, even though they got some really good weed. So yes, I always tell people, like, really I feel like I was born a freak bitch, okay? I lost my virginity at 13. Young as fuck. Too young. Really, I lost it being peer pressured, and come to find out, the people that was peer pressuring me was not even fucking, so I'm the only one that lost my virginity. Horrible. While everybody else is taking it as a joke, I done took it serious and was fucking. So I feel like I've been grown my whole life, and my mother started letting me talk to boys at the age of 12. So I was talking to boys on the phone at the age of 12, which was not even a big deal. I wasn't talking about sex or anything like that. But I did notice a change in my body, of course, in my body, and then in my mental state. When I started my period at 11, it was like a rush of hormones just came over me once I started my period. And it was like, by 13, we was already talking about STDs, and because we had sex ed in middle school. I went to school downriver with the white kids, so we had sex ed. I don't know about y'all, but yeah. So by this time, I'm like, we're learning about sex, we're talking about sex, everybody's talking about it, whatever. But I really am interested in doing it because of the way that my body is changing and the way that my body feels. Like, my hormones are all over the place. I don't know if all females go through that in puberty, but I felt like a boy. Like, I'm horny all the time. Why is my pussy just randomly wet? Like, nobody ever explained that to us. Explain the bodily functions, your sex organs. Like, why do you feel this way? And it's normal to be horny. Like, it's normal to want to masturbate. It's normal, but it wasn't normalized with my Christian parents, because they said, you're not supposed to be fucking, you're not supposed to be fucking, that's just what it is. But why not, though, if it feels natural? So he wasn't my first boyfriend. I had all types of little boyfriends, but I really liked him, and I was like, I want to lose my virginity to him. And I remember, like, he was like 16 or something like that, and I was 13. So I liked the fact that he was a little bit older, and he played basketball, and he was new to the neighborhood, because I liked the boys in the neighborhood, but I was like, them niggas is kind of mean and kind of rough, and they talked more than females did. They was spreading rumors about us more than any other female. And it was like, me and my friends wasn't even having sex, not that I knew of. but they were already saying like, oh, this girl does this and this girl, like shaming us already, and we're not even doing anything, but our bodies are developing and they're just being childish. So I'm head over heels about this dude, and I really like him, and I want him to be my first. So I was so geeked to go to his house. So ghetto. Growing up in the projects. His mother was a stripper. Her name was Brownie. And she was a single mom. And she was raising him and his sister. And I remember I don't know, she was at work, whatever. I know my mother was at work. So that's when I was wearing my wrap. Used to get my hair done every 2 weeks. Fresh wrap. I was like, my hair not freshly done, but I'm gonna just bump it a little bit, put on my little lip gloss and shit. Cause we had made a deal like, you come over after school one day and okay, I'll take your virginity or whatever. Cause he had already been fucking, cause he probably been exposed to a whole bunch of stuff being raised by a stripper. And then I go to his house or whatever, and we don't even really waste no time. Like, we just get straight to it. And I'm like nervous and scared because I already pretty much know like what's supposed to happen, but I didn't know it was gonna be that painful, and I didn't know I was gonna like it. Like most women be like, or most females be like, well, the first time was horrible and it was very painful and I didn't enjoy it. It was painful and I enjoyed it, and then from there it just went downhill. So I think we had sex like 2 other times. The first time, he was like, you want me to pull out or whatever? Where you want me to put it? And I'm like, put what? Like, I didn't even think about that because I'm like, I know we're not using condom. Anyways, I didn't think that through about where he was going to come because I know we wasn't using condoms because it's our first time. Well, my first time, and that was stupid. Why would you not use the condom with somebody you know has already been having sex? Because, I don't know. He was popular because he was new to the neighborhood and because he can play basketball and because he looked like Omarion, but like a hood nigga Omarion. So anyways, I was like obsessed with him. And my 2 male friends, well, my 1 male friend, they was twins, identical twins. He was like, you shouldn't have sex with him no more because he be having sex with a lot of different girls and he don't be using no protection, and I know you're not having sex with nobody else. And I was like, yeah, I was hearing that. And I was like, I probably should listen, but I didn't listen. So I went to, on vacation with my family. My grandfather took us to New Orleans or whatever. And I was gone for like a week or 2, I think. And when I came back, I was like 10 pounds heavier. I was thick as fuck. Everybody was like, damn, where you coming from? Where you coming from? So I'm thinking like, oh, I'm getting all this attention from everybody else. Everybody else thinking I'm look good. Oh, my boyfriend, my first love. Now I think I'm in love with him because I done lost my virginity to him, knowing I didn't love him. I'm infatuated, I guess. I'm like, oh, he gonna be impressed too. So my same friend, the same male friend, was like, yeah, before you go see him, that nigga got an STD. And he keeps saying in the locker room, because they all play basketball together, he keeps saying, his dick is burning when he pee, and we told him to go to the free clinic and he won't go. And so I've been grown my whole life. My first job was at 13 and I was a drug and peer educator. I would go and talk to other peers like myself about sex and drugs. So like I knew like the dangers of getting pregnant without using the condom and being allergic to latex and possibly getting herpes from you know what I mean, like getting tested with your partner first before having sex. I knew all of that shit, but all of that went out the window because I'm like, oh, I just really like him and I want to lose my virginity to him and all this other dumbass shit. So he basically told me like he got an STD, he got gonorrhea, don't have sex with him because he's gonna give it to you, and I know y'all don't use condoms. And I'm like, damn, why is everybody in our business? Like, I don't remember telling them, like, oh, not the details of us having sex. So I'm like, how does he know that we don't use condoms or whatever? So I'm like, that nigga must be pillow talking. That's why I was like, see, even at that young age, I knew that it be men that be gossiping too. So my dumb ass don't listen, and I have sex with him. And, of course, I get gonorrhea at 13. So I'm 13 fucking Not supposed to be fucking. And I get gonorrhea. And we gonna smoke to that. How I'm supposed to tell my mama that I got gonorrhea? Because I'm not supposed to be having sex to begin with. She was in grad school studying for her master's degree because she's a social worker. And so having a teenager who's having sex, not only is she having sex, but now she has an STD, it was just so overwhelming to deal with. I can only imagine. And my grandmother, who is her birthday twin, lived around the corner from us with my aunt and my two cousins. So she called my granny. I'm like, nah, the whole family's gonna know my business. You're gonna tell granny. She's like, oh, I'm telling granny this because I'm not gonna deal with this shit. She told my granny, and my granny is always on the grandkid's side, but she was not on my side, and I was so sad because I never wanted to disappoint my grandparents because they was like my second parents. They really always was rooting for me, the biggest cheerleaders or whatever. My granny, she said, you heifer wench, get in this car. I was like, oh. I'm like, granny gotta take me to the clinic. She like, no, we going to the doctor. Because we gotta make sure this shit is cleared up, make sure you don't have nothing else. I'm like, oh my God. I would have rather had my Aries son mother take me than my Aries son grandmother because she was never playing with us. And she was only like 5'2", a little petite lady, but she was really fucking scary. That's who everybody tell me they remind me, who I remind them of now. It's my granny. So I was really dramatic, okay? I'm like, granny, I don't want them to give me a shot. So she had to hold me down. She was cussing my ass out. She held me down, and they gave me the shot for gonorrhea. First, I had to get a pep smear. That was so embarrassing. It was a man, and it was my granny, so I just feel like, and it was a nurse in there. So I'm like, all these people's in my vagina. And I'm still like, oh, but I'm a kid. But like, no, you're not really a kid because you're fucking now. So that was really horrible. And then all the rumors started at school. So I'm embarrassed that I had to get treated for gonorrhea by my so-called boyfriend. And now he's not talking to me. And I'm like, how are you not talking to me? You gave it to me, you dirtball ass bitch. And I'm thinking, like, he don't even know where he got it from. And the same male friend was like, no, that nigga know where he got it from. He got it from old girl that just moved to the neighborhood, too. These was some dirty motherfuckers moving to our projects, okay, in Pickwick. Pickwick was the projects. I'm sorry, we are project babies. The girl that had just moved here, like, remember, we all teenagers. We, like, between the ages of, like, 13 and 17. This bitch is, like, 15 in the 8th grade or 9th grade or 16 or something. Not supposed to be in our grade. You too fucking old. She was fucking on grown men. And you don't know what they have. I'm like, we're fucking kids and we're getting STDs because we're getting it from somebody who's fucking adults who's probably dirty as fuck because they're fucking children. So you gotta be dirty as fuck. So, and she was like super grown too, but I was really grown too at that age, but not like as grown as her. Like she was like really raising herself. Like we was alone a lot because we, you know, our mothers were single mothers, but she was alone a lot. So she fucked my boyfriend and my one male friend who ended up punching her in the face because he got burnt too. And she fucked a couple of other niggas too. And I was like, hey, we all just got gonorrhea now. But they said it was my fault because it was supposed to be a secret. How is it supposed to be a fucking secret? It didn't even make sense. But anyways, I'm the one that got bullied for it and blamed for it. So I just was like, I'm just going to tell everybody's business. And y'all tell my business. And you got it. And you got it from her. And you got it from him. And you did this and you did this. Then everybody shut the fuck up. But people still didn't talk to me. That was really hard, first year of high school. Woo. I teach middle school now, so I really need for them to bring sex ed back into the schools or the school district that I was working at because they want to shame the kids for being horny, but I'm like, bitch, that's a part of puberty. At least teach them about their bodies and why they feel like that and why they should reframe and wait and normalize masturbation, or we're going to continue to have people like me who was having sex at 13. I could have been fucking pregnant or got anything. Like, we don't even be thinking because we're just too busy trying to tell the kids not to do it instead of just educating them. Thank God that I worked that job, which was weird, because that was the only time I've ever had an STD in my entire life. Because I always educated myself. And that's because everybody's first job was like fast food, retail. My first job was, I was a peer mentor talking about the dangers of sex and drugs. And surprisingly, I do drugs now, and I'm still addicted to sex. I wouldn't say I'm addicted to sex. I'm not. I just know that it's a very sacred energy exchange. So being promiscuous from like 13 to like my early 20s was like, I don't regret it, but I wish that I would have known what I know now back then. But I don't regret it, and I wouldn't change anything about my journey. I just was like, all them niggas did not deserve this good ass pussy, so I don't. And then the fact that they're still stalking me is like, leave me alone, because I don't remember you and I'm trying to forget you, so please stop. But yeah, 13, lost my virginity, and got an STD. Wonderful, fucking wonderful. At least it wasn't from the first time that we had sex. It was like maybe the third time. Still fucking horrible. Talk to your children. Have those hard conversations with them. My mother talked to me, but not really talked to me. And it would have been really nice if my dad would have talked to me too. Yeah. But I don't think we be knowing how to talk to our kids, but I don't care. I'm going to figure out how to know shit. 'Cause I don't want my child out here just doing whatever the fuck. Because I was on some bullshit. But I've only had one STD, and that was when I was a kid. And I've only been pregnant twice by one man. And I've never had an abortion. So, and I'm not shaming anybody that had an abortion, but I'm very, like, picky when it comes to my body. So, if I've ever had sex with you, you should feel fucking privileged, because niggas will throw off your pH balance. You niggas drinking Mountain Dew, smoking backwoods all fucking day, not drinking no water. Oh, but I know more about my body now, so everyone doesn't have access.